My goal for you guys for this training here is to give you what I call the 5 and 5 plan. So I think it's more than likely possible that you're able to add $5 million in net worth in 5 years. How do you do it? Good deals are made in good times. The best deals are made in hard times. The absolute best deals. When we were running around 11 and 12 to look at deals, one deal, it was way out there. It didn't make any sense. I could have bought a golf course. It was a links golf course for $1. Here's the catch. It was burning 400 grand a year. So you were cash flow negative 400 grand a year. So the bet was, how long are you going to be negative 400 grand a year? Is it going to be a year? Is it going to be 7 years? Are you then going to sell it for $1 to somebody else? So the deals are there, guys. It's all there. And it's all what you can see with it. So our business is two parts. One is we're active. We're in the game. We're buying deals. We're buying apartment buildings. Like I said, we're closing 144 units here in the next couple of days. We try to do a couple of deals a year, and we have a lot of fun with it. So that's my core business. That's what I started with. I started like everybody else, $5,000, $10,000 to buy a deal. The best question you can ask yourself is, who do you need to become, literally, to get to the next, to be able to do that next thing that's required? If for you, it's, hey, you know what, I'm just trying to figure out how to put my first joint venture together. Who's that person I need to become to be able to do that? Because that's a different skill set. Maybe you've already done the friends, the family, the accredited investor, and now you're like, hey, I need to structure a more sophisticated offering because, you know, we've raised a couple million internally, we raised a couple million externally, but now we need to raise another $10 million a year. The 144 units that we're buying is called Ashwood Park Apartments in Houston, Texas. It is in a suburb called Pasadena, great blue collar area, lots of hardworking, middle income earning jobs. What I really like about the property in the area is that the property itself is surrounded by nice houses, but a nice house in this area is $400,000 or $500,000, like a nice house. You know, you can get townhouse condos for 300, 350,000. This property is nestled within that community. You've got banks nearby, schools, high schools, medical centers, plazas, dental offices. It's on a good main road. There's buses that come around there. What I love even more about it is I can create a lot of value here with minimal risk, in my opinion, because when you buy an apartment building, you pay for the income that comes with the building. When you find a building that is missing operational, where it's not running efficiently, where you have vacancies or you have rents that are not up to market for whatever reason, those are easy ways to increase the income and add value to a property. As an example, for every $1 that you add to the bottom line of an apartment building, you add $15 to $25 in value in that apartment building. So let me say that again. If you add $10,000 a year in net income, the bottom line, net income is before mortgage and debt and all that other stuff. So just you add $10,000 to the bottom line, that adds $150,000 to $250,000 in value in the asset. You could refinance that, you could sell that, you could do a lot with that extra value. Biggest difference between single family and multifamily is exactly that. Single family is worth what the neighbors is worth, what the condo across the street sold for, what, you know, oh, you've got new counters, but they have new floors. And the realtor has this equalization calculator based on upgrades in a house and comps, right? With multifamily, we all immediately want to see the bank. I want to see your T12, which is your trailing 12-month financials. And I want to see your rent roll. Show me the money. I don't care about the building until I see the financials. Literally, when we do due diligence, we look at numbers first, and then we substantiate it with the asset. It's a totally different approach to real estate investing. The reason why I love this property is because we are buying this property and there's about a 20 or 22% vacancy in the property. So about 1/5 of the property is empty. What's the market like? What's the vacancy in the area? Because that does mean if the whole area is 80% occupied, then okay, great, you're basically market. Well, no, the whole area, there's nowhere to live. We literally secret shop the whole area. All the properties have waiting lists, they're full, or they're months away. I mean, there's a few units here and there, but nothing substantive. So check. Now, the question is, okay, well, if this is such a good deal, why is it 20% vacant? Well, the owners ran out of money. If you look at the property, it looks like Jurassic Park. Like the trees are just like the overhang is literally blocking a good chunk of the parking spots right in front of the buildings because the trees are hanging so low. The roaches are taking over, so we got to deal with the roaches. You got to spray for bugs. They haven't been doing that. There's some maintenance, the mail room. I'll talk more about this stuff. The point is the property hasn't been cared for, and what happens is you have this negative spiral because good tenants, people that want to can afford to move, will move. They just won't tolerate it. And then you get desperate, so you want to fill the property, and who's going to move in? People don't have options. And then it creates this negative feedback loop. My goal for you guys for this training here is to give you the what I call the 5 and 5 plan. So I think it's more than likely possible that you're able to add $5 million in net worth in 5 years. How do you do it? So why multifamily? Who's had a vacancy in a single family home here? So when you don't have occupancy, you don't have income, right? And then all of a sudden there's this urgency to find someone who's equally qualified to move into your property like right away because obviously that mortgage, it's adding up, the costs, all this stuff, right? With multifamily, when you have 40 units or 144 units, put it this way, with 144 units, we actually keep a unit vacant on purpose. Do you know why? It's called a show suite. You literally keep it empty. 144 units. Can you imagine this? Like you literally keep a unit empty at all times. You have it furnished, you have the nice pillows, you put all the stuff in there, you make it look pretty so that when the property managers walking prospective tenants, they walk them through the same unit every single time. And then when they ask them, the only question is, do you want a 1 bedroom or a 2? It's the same layout. Eventually it'll be the same color, same countertop, same everything. You keep more control. Other thing is your expenses. With a multifamily property, you can allocate your expenses. I know you guys can meter small apartment buildings and things like this, but literally with large multifamily properties, you have the ability to, it's called RUBS, Ratio Utility Billing System, where you can literally allocate everything from water to pest control to all the different expenses per unit. You can allocate that to your individual residents. It gives you a lot of control over the property. So the other thing too is Canadians is we have very few ways to legally reduce our taxes. You know, you've got an RSP if you have a job, and that's okay. You can write off your interest on, you know, when you borrow on a line of credit. And maybe there's a few other things you can do with insurance. But aside from that, what else can we do as Canadians to reduce their tax? Well, a big thing you can do is invest in real estate. Because with real estate, you can actually use the depreciation, the amortization, and the expenses from the property to offset other related income, which is really, really helpful. And with multifamily, you have a lot more control. Also, with multifamily, because you're dealing with a 10 unit or 100 unit building, you can afford to hire better help. You can literally afford to hire a real accountant. You don't just need a bookkeeper that's going to jam through your Excel spreadsheets last second and get your shoebox of receipts and figure it out and then go fight with the CRA later. You can actually hire real accounting staff. Our project in the US, our Canadian investors don't have to file US tax returns, even though it's a US property. How do we do that? Because we deal with the cross-border on our investors' behalf. That costs tens of thousands of dollars to do it. Why is it worth it? Because we're buying an $11 million asset. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that for my investors if we were buying a duplex in Florida. The accounting would cost more than the cash flow. So as you hit scale, you can afford better help. Legal, accounting, partners, investors, you attract better people and you reach your goals faster. Now, I know there's no such thing as positive cash flow in the GTA, but just humor me for a second. If you did find a property and you were able to make $100 a month on it, cash flow, how many would you have to buy to leave your job? 40, 50, 70? Like I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, like so many people in this book too, and Kiyosaki's talking about like $35,000 duplexes or whatever. Remember in that book? I read that book 20 years ago, and even 20 years ago, I'm like, not here, man. Where are these duplexes? And yes, you can go to Sault Ste. Marie, and you can go to maybe Nova Scotia or New Brunswick or whatever it is, and there's some deals there, but you're going to spend as much time buying a fourplex there as you are buying a 100 unit in the US. I'm telling you right now, there's a few things you have to learn, but once you open up your mind to that possibility, you will reach your goals faster.